Hi guys, Tom Morrison here, and do you ever get a weird hip pain that kind of catches you off guard, makes you go, ooh, or it makes you scared to look down in case your leg may have fallen off? These things can drive you absolutely nuts, and it's really hard to try and figure out which actual muscle can be the problem, and that's where you're actually going wrong. Weird random pains like that are never just the fault of one muscle. You could have a bit of weakness in your inner thigh, and that can cause you to have a pain in and around the glute med or the piriformis area. You can have tight quads, which starts to aggravate your up around your psoas. You can have hamstrings that are really, really tight, which inhibits you how to bend over, and then your QL can start to tighten up. It could even be that sandwich that you had last Thursday. So there's a lot of different things that can cause muscles to feel weird. So the approach that you need to have whenever you're trying to correct this and get rid of it and stop it happening to you is to actually go after all the muscles. So here's how we hit everything. First thing you're going to need is a resistance band, and you're going to need to attach it around something sturdy, so your living room chair or a sturdy dining table, something that just makes sure that you actually have resistance and the band just doesn't go flying across the room. So what Jenny's going to do is we're going to face in different directions, and we're going to challenge all the muscles of the hips. The main things you just need to remember is lying down, facing this way and facing that way. So Jenny is going for the hip flexors first of all. So from here she can just lie herself down, and she's looking to pull up and see how the leg feels. See if it feels strong in that position, see if it feels weak. Is there anything nipping or anything that gives you that replicates that sort of ooh sensation? And you move nice and slowly, keep your breathing really relaxed through your nose, and you really start to focus on the muscles up and around the front of the hips working, okay? So as I was saying, you're then going to swap sides, and you're going to do 5 reps of each, and you're testing left to right. Does one side feel different than the other? Even the side that's not sore, it might be the one that's actually causing the issue, so it could be weakness on the other side that's causing pain on the other side. So it's really important to test these things. So Jenny's done her left leg and her right leg, so we've done the hip flexors, so that's when you're lying face up. From there, what's Jenny going to do? We want another muscle. She's going to turn to the side. She's going to put the band around her foot again. And this way now, it's going to be pulling her leg out the way. And she's resisting against that. So now she's working the adductors, okay? So the inner thigh with this one. You're going to do this with a straight leg. See if it feels nippy, see if it feels weak. And you're also going to try it with a bent leg to see how that feels as well, okay? So remember, joints move in many, many different ways. So sometimes if something feels totally fine with a straight limb, whenever you bend the limb, then you might find you start to trigger that same pain. To hit the adductor on the other leg, Jenny then needs to face the other way, so the band's pulling that way, so she's having to use her adductors to pull in and test again for any weakness there, okay? So go nice and slow. I would probably even say, because we're demoing this, we're going a bit faster than we should, so I would even go a little bit slower than that and just really try and feel things out. So that's the adductors that we've done on both sides. Then, what's Jenny going to do? Going back to the first foot, and she stands facing the same way. That's smart, that's a good one. So now we're going for the abductors, so the outside, okay? So hitting that famous glute med that everyone likes to blame for everything. So this one, if it feels weak, again, spend a bit more time on that one. And you're going to test both sides. And again, same idea, do it with a straight leg, do it with a bent knee. And if you're really finding stuff out here, you could also, if Jenny just does a couple of reps, if she just lies down for me as well, you can lie down and play around with this one as well, okay? So it's really about trying to feel what's going on, where it feels weak, and really trying to figure out if there's anything that catches you in weird positions. You should be able to comfortably move your legs in any way and not experience pain. That's a pretty nice way to live, isn't it? So again, we just change the direction that we're facing, and we go for the abductor on the other leg. And again, just 5 reps, nice and slow, couple with a straight leg, couple with a bent leg, and see for any weakness. So we've done the hip flexors, we've done the adductors, we've done the abductors. Now we can then go to the hamstrings. How do we do that, Jenny? How do we go for the hamstrings? So we're back on the first foot, and we're face down. So this one's a bit tricky. The band might fly off at some point, but just keep a slight bend in the knee, and then you're really working to pull your heel up towards your glutes, okay? So the hamstring is to bend the knee, so you want to do an action that bends the knee. And again, you're looking to feel any kind of weakness here, or if it starts to cramp up on you immediately, that's a good sign, because it sort of means that the hamstrings are kind of confused and they don't know what to do whenever you're doing that, so you need to spend a bit of time. So if you do cramp up, relax your breathing, roll around and squeal a bit, and then whenever it eases off, get back into it again. So again, let's see if Jenny's got the ninja skills to swap without looking. Oh, she does! Awesome. So again, testing both hamstrings. If one feels really weak compared to the other one, you can add more reps on that side. And the more you do this, the more smooth it's going to feel and the better everything is going to feel as well. So Keep in mind that you're just testing all the muscles of the hips, and it's more about what you feel when you're doing the exercise. So we're saying 5 as a rough guide, but if you find something funky, you want to hang out there and really, really challenge it. Whenever you've done all of those directions, you can then go for your internal and external hip rotation as well. So you move the band up to the knee, and from there, the band is trying to pull her leg inwards. So now we're still working on the external rotation of this. So Jenny sees how close she can get the knee down to the floor. Awesome. And again, just 5 reps. If the band starts being annoying, just give it a wee twang. And then test that other side as well. Swap it over, and you're just always looking for any difference left to right. Small difference, totally fine, but if you notice a big gaping difference, if there's a mad amount of weakness on one side compared to the other, you just want to work on fixing that, and that's going to make things feel a lot better. So again, we've got that bit of external rotation, that bit of abduction going on as well. And then when we go back to the first leg again, we're working on the internal rotation and the adduction again too. And the band's just giving you a wee bit of feedback, wee bit of resistance to work off. If you do a few reps and you feel you can get a bit further, you can push the range a wee bit more. If you need to change your feet as well, or even scoot yourself out that little bit more, it'll give you that wee bit more resistance to work with. And just take that time with this drill. If you're having weird aches and pains, you've got to take time, move around and explore and see what's going on. It's the internal rotation and your adduction on this side as well. And move things around to see what's most comfortable to you, or again, if you can replicate any of those weird sensations that have been annoying you. So that's how you go through your hips. Make sure to watch that a couple of times to make sure you get all the directions proper, and that you don't miss anything out. So just make sure that you're hitting the hip flexors, the hamstrings, the abductors, the adductors, and working on your rotation as well. And that is going to figure out whatever it could or might not be, or whatever it is giving you issues. Whenever you've finished, you can then stand up and have a bit of a wiggle and see how things feel. If you noticed an immediate improvement, then that's great. Keep doing these exercises daily for at least a few weeks in order to get it to stick, and hopefully it will stop bothering you. If you're not finding an improvement with these things, then it could actually be your range of motion. So I would highly recommend that you check out the simplistic mobility method, or on our YouTube channel, you can also check out the deep lunge test and the 90-90 position. They would be 2 very good exercises to test the range of motion in the hip in case it's down to tightness rather than a weakness.